Well, hello everybody. Have I got a story for you? One of the things you gotta know about me is that I wear contact lenses, which, as most people know, is just like glasses, but for the eyeballs. And the story of how I got said eyeball glasses is really quite entertaining. You see, I've worn these ever since high school. So let's rewind back to the summer before my sophomore year. I was taking PE in summer school because the program I was in, if I didn't take summer school, I would not graduate. And honestly, the sound of taking a victory lap as a super senior just wasn't my kind of deal, okay? It wasn't my cup of tea, so to speak. So, here I am in PE class. I figured if I'm going to do any class during the summer, it might as well be one that doesn't always feel like school. So here we are running laps in the beginning of the school day. And the cross-country coach sees me run in. I'm making good time because I'm 6'3", I have a good running stride. I'm at the head of the pack. So then I walk in, and he comes out of nowhere. I guess he was coming into work that day, just coming in, and he's like, "You! I want you!" Nearly drops his coffee when he does it. The guy was extra. If you want to get an idea of what this guy was like, if you've seen Futurama, this guy was like Zap Radigan, but Latino. I'll give you an example. He'd walk into class because he was also the history teacher, and he'd be like, "Oh, all right, muchachos, it's your history stepdaddy here. We're gonna learn about the Gadsden Purchase." And that's the weird thing. He was the same age as our parents, so he would always joke around. He's like, "Yes, all your moms are flirting with me back in high school." I'm like, "Haha, my mom would never date you, loser. No." Because it turns out my mom was a senior when he was a freshman, so there's no freaking way she would ever go for him. That's a story for another time. Get out of the way, mister. So, for some reason, he talks me into joining cross country. And just like any sport, you have to go ahead and do a physical. And when you tell me to take a physical, the first thing that comes to my head is turning cough. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You're telling me some dude is gonna go down there and tell me a ponchito is healthy or not? I'm like, come on, doc. I use it every day. You'd think I would know. But we're not talking about that part. We're talking about these. Yes, my eyes are up here. Bad pun, totally worth it. We get through it. My school is cheap. They send us to this secondhand clinic where everyone's taking their physical. So it's like 3 hours. 3 hours to get the paperwork done and everything, and we finally get to the eye exam. I'm exaggerating a little bit. It was like 2.5. Doesn't matter. We got through everything. It was time for the eye exam. And there's a nurse there. She had like this attitude. She was like, "Okay, sir, we're on a strict schedule here. Name all the letters as fast as you can." And this is when it happens. E. "Sir, there's a wait. Keep going." E. "Very good, you already said that. Keep going." Híjole. My dad's like, "Stop messing around." Meanwhile, my brother is laughing because he's catching on. He's like, "Dude, you're blind." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So then they call my dad over and they start whispering. I'm like, "You can't just tell me? I'm right here. I'm like 5 feet away." "That is my dad you're talking to, right?" Okay. So they're like, "Come this way." And it was at that point I realized turning cough would never happen. Cross country never happened because marching band is life and the schedule's conflicted, but that's not what we're talking about. They take me into a room, they do an eye exam, and they realize how blind I am. They're like, "All right, sir, healthy eyesight is 20/20, and your right eye is 80, and your left eye is like 100. So yes, you're blind, you're gonna need glasses." So then I think my dad's gonna freak out. What's the first thing that comes to his mind? "No wonder you suck at math. You can't even see the board." I'm like, yeah, here I am 7 years later, and the grades never changed. And my brother, he's laughing. He's giving me a hard time. He's like, "Bro, no wonder you took that one girl to the dance. You couldn't see what she looked like." I'm like, shut up, stupid. He's giving me a hard time, and she's like, bro, she was like this short, you're 6'3", and she was like 5 foot. I'm like, shut up. So they take me over to get the glasses, but I'm freaking out. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I really need glasses. I mean, not glasses, I need contacts. And they're like, okay, we'll get you contacts. Little did I know what I was getting myself into, because here I am trying to put it in, and I see my eye getting close to my finger, and I was like, hey, and I blinked. And it's not like if you're freaking out you can close your eyes and hope for the best. They gotta be open for the whole deal. My dad's trying to teach me, and like, you know, he's getting all upset, so he's like, watch. Makes me poke my own eye. I'm like, you made me poke my eye. He's like, is it in? I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm like, you don't realize how blind you are? So he's like, now look at your sheet music. And I'm like, wow. I didn't know any different up to this point. And yeah, that's the story of how I got better vision.